Hey folks, how's it going? Rash here, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary, where we of course got some fun matchups lined up for you, and surprisingly so. I thought it was going to be difficult collecting matches for today's video. Granted, this is the 1st of September as I'm collecting some of these, and already the TV is picking up some interesting games that I want to showcase today. Primarily, a lot of red-yellow on the TV for some reason. And I figured since we had a couple matches where some different deck variations gone up against our good old burn type colors, although where all the matches burn, you'll have to find out. Yeah, I figured it'd be a great way to kind of showcase maybe what can beat burn, or what people are bringing to defeat burn, or at least those notoriously pain in the ass red-yellow colors. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the matches here. Games to see, games to enjoy. Let's not delay any further and start off, like I said before, with match number 1. Alright, folks, and of course, match number 1 underway. The first of our Crusader Warlock matches here, as Wader takes on a DragonStorm, rocking the Druid Vikings, a favorite of ours here on the channel for, of course, Nature's Necromancy, but I don't think that's what DragonStorm is bringing to the table. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump right in. If I could click the play button, that would be very helpful here. And jumping right in, we are on Dragon's side of the board here, and an interesting opener. Rabbit, Gromok, Frost Giant, all things you don't typically see here. So nice to see that some little experimentation is going on here, maybe utilizing some Viking buffs with Gromok. At least that feels like the initial idea that I'm seeing right now based on this hand, but we'll see what happens here. We saw it Inspire from Wader turn 1, getting, I think, the Shield Runner and the Sniper? Yeah, Sniper. And Dwarven Miner here to follow up on the turn 2. Nice little Wizard play to kind of distract the Dwarven Miner from coming in, but Wishbolt will clear that right up. We'll see how Dragon's respond here. Turn 4, going for the Gromok, I guess, because you don't want to really... The Killer Rabbit doesn't really accomplish anything, so I guess it's fine to set up the Gromok for ludicrous strength in the next turn. But Witchbolt going to go ahead and put another stop to that, getting rid of it. So, well, actually not dealing enough damage to it, so that way the Dwarven Miner can clear off the board here. But a nice little 2-for-1 with the Rabbit now, as of course we take down the weaker Miner with the Fresh Rabbit, and then use the remaining Rabbit with, or the Rabbit's health with the extra attack to clear off the Dwarven Miner number 2. Sniper coming out now from Wader here, so this is going to be a bit of a nuisance here. We do have the Frost Giant, though. Frost Giant going to come in and nicely freeze that off. Try to get in close to even get rid of it before anything major happens here. Monk being played, Runner being played. Feels bad about the Monk not getting any sort of heal value, but that is okay. We do want to kind of defend the Sniper here, but DragonStorm has the perfect little counter to this one. Not only the Sheep to the Slaughter, but the Ludicrous Strength as well, being able to clear the board entirely. Now, with just the Sheep to the Slaughter, he would have been able to clear off the Sniper, but I understand kind of wanting to get everything off the board while you have the opportunity. Keeper now, plus Burning Sun, going to clear off that additional Ludicrous Strength boosting that was going on there. Unfortunately for that Frost Giant, now a bit weaker. Still decides to go into the Keeper, though, for whatever reason, which is an interesting call. As we see everything else kind of push in here. Griffin, Wolf to support, kind of lining up, trying to take their shot in. Dragon's Fire, though, going to come in and do a bit of work. Cleans up the Wolf here, weakens the Frost Giant enough so the Keeper can make a trade here, but unfortunately it's going to be a pass back because Wader apparently has no other playable cards. This leaving room for DragonStorm to come in now with the Spiny going to go and pop in, as well as the Griffin. Following up the Minotaur as well, here come the Parade of Bunguses. Does Wader have any sort of additional things you can utilize here? Tricks up his sleeve. Horseman popping into the castle, not exactly the prime target here, but has a Banshee to clear off that Griffin, which is good, useful, but still doesn't solve the issue of the big Unga Bunga Minotaur. We'll see Minotaur going to go ahead and slap right in there. The Spiny as well. Yep, going to go ahead and pop in, or at least Spiny Part 2. Putting him down to pretty much lethal range from a lot of different threats here. Either Spiny, the Minotaur, and now the newly played Fenrir, which, great to see Fenrir getting some action. I think this is more of a deck that has utilized the Rampage, the built-in Rampage, with some of the Viking buffs, things like the Ludicrous Strength, which we saw. But again, we saw a Hand of the Saint here from Wader. Not going to be enough to do anything, as we're just going to do a little bit of extra BM here, I imagine, from Storm's side. We're just kind of playing out our hand here. But that is going to be match number 1, of course, taken very handedly by the interesting Druid Viking choice here. I guess it should be mentioned that these colors, when you are playing burn or things like in the red-yellow, they do tend to have an issue with some of the larger, chunkier units because, of course, they have to waste their burn, their game-winning spells into removing some big targets. So if you throw enough big targets at them, either they're going to lose the power to kill you with those spells, or you're going to move in those bunguses, you know, at some point, because the burn they have may not be enough to deal with it. That's why cards like Griffin can be so important for beast-focused decks, or any decks in general. The extra health on that really does make a difference here. And the same can be said with for Minotaur, really. Except Minotaur, you have to have the extra armory in place to get the 8 HP, so... yeah, but I mean, most decks run it anyway, so that should be fine. Anyways, match number 1 has been completed. Again, congrats to DragonStorm for winning that game. What about match number 2, though? Let's go ahead and check on that and see what goes down. Alright, in game number 2, we'll see Vasea Mel take on Captain Classic. Of course, 2 battle-hardened veterans. No introductions really needed for these two. As Mel on the Viking Ninja, which I can assume to be dragons, his bread and butter, going up against Captain Classic, who, of course, like we mentioned before, is rocking red-yellow. Again, colors that I think he's done pretty well with over the last few months, maybe years. Kind of lost track at this point. Regardless, we'll see how these veterans pair off against each other. What, of course, they're going to bring to the table. Maybe it might be something new. I'm not sure, but judging by the hand here we've got from Classic, not necessarily. Classic with the Arbiter's Return here, and I believe he is on the Detonate combination, of course. Being able to place Detonate turn 8, and then setting up for an Arbiter to leave the board turn 9, which, of course, will deal that extra explosion damage from the Detonate. So about 9 damage to face, or pretty much anywhere, with the 5 being an explosive. Can do a lot of damage. But we'll see what happens. Is Classic going to utilize the Book Straw, pick up an extra card, but using the Incinerate to clear off the Fire Drake. Of course, I guess feeling a little bit threatened by that. I mean, dragons are a deck that can pack some pretty heavy health numbers, so we'll see if Classic's burns are going to be enough to maybe whittle away, or maybe sneak a win here from destroying the castle. Who knows? We'll see what happens, though. Bolt revealing the Shadow, well, Bolt to kill off the revealed Shadow Drake after a fear. I mean, Classic is going through a couple of resources pretty fast here. Much faster than I think he might be liking to. So, a little concerning, but, I mean, no real damage taken by either player, I think, at this point in the game. We'll see a Incinerate onto the Ice Drake here in a smart way to neutralize everything for the Chaotic Storm spread there, as you saw. Being able to hit everything, clearing off the board, and dealing that first blood to Mel's castle. Stone Drake now in response to the Tarius Files. Of course, Classic, though, really out of options. Luckily, with that Flamestorm pull, going to be able to pull at least maybe something to help him here. Craxus and Pillar. I guess Pillar is a nice way to kind of divert the enemy. You don't want to kind of charge it in and lose everything. So, we do see now that Mel needs that alive because of the Green Drake that's now fresh on the board here, so it can provide the additional stat lines here. But now here's Detonate. Here's where things can get a little bit gross. We have the Detonate. We can set it at any time. And then, of course, the following one, utilize Arbiter. We are now in that gold threshold here. Lumberjack taking a swing at the Pillar, being sacked for a draw. Kind of makes sense there. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of an annoying one for both players. I think both of them are running into a couple differences here. Mel, the annoying Pillar, and now the fear of the Detonate explosion. But Classic not able to kind of do a lot either. He's kind of stuck there. Doesn't really want to move around too much. Although, oh boy, some big damage coming in now as the Lightning Blade off of the Stone Drake here. The arrow off the Green Drake will clear. There's a Detonate trigger, which is nice. It's a good heads-up play from Mel there to kind of kill the cracks. Even though Classic does get the draw from it, it eliminates the risk of it being an Arbiter Detonate, which we knew it was. So very nice sort of heads-up play there from Mel. Although Arbiter is going to come out here and heal up the castle just a little bit. Kind of expected here. He needed to play that because these dragons can do some big damage at some inconvenient times. Ice Drake, Stone Drake now back from Mel's hand here. Aeroth moving up as well, I believe. Yeah, it looks like it's going to. Dragonfire hitting the board here, though. Going to clear off one of those drakes here. Weaken the other two significantly. That does line up to actually... Well, no, I think we used the other Dragon's Fire. Did we have 2 Dragon's Fire? I forget. We might not have, but we might have already used it while I wasn't looking or yapping. Very much can be either case here. We do see Dragon Siege now giving the little extra boost to Stone and Aeroth here, which of course kind of revives them from the Dragon's Fire damage that happened in the previous turn, which is good. Fearing back the Stone Drake, sure, why not? Grotesque Offering on the racking, I believe. Yep, so that way we can get rid of the upkeep. Very nice. Might play, yeah, Judgment. Judgment feels like the right call here. We could do Hands, but Hands doesn't feel like it's max value just yet. So that does seem fair to me. We'll set the Judgment while we have the opportunity. Mel, though, while under-resourced here, will make quite the push, or at least is setting up for quite the push here. Has those 2 big dragons still, with another one, I guess, in tow. Who knows if Face is in the deck or in the hand, maybe. Although, of course, the cheap bodies here from Classic are providing a great sort of block for these flying units to kind of just walk right over and eliminate the castle health. Ooh, Pulverize out of Vasea Mel. Who would have thunk it? All right, some good cleanup here across the board all around. Some good interactions happening here. Ryder clearing off the Stone Drake clearing off Arcanon, so we can get that targeting onto the pillar. All things that make sense here. All things that just make sense. But now, of course, Classic up against the wall here. Got a couple units heading into face. Horseman hitting Castle. Might be good for this deck, but still has a lot to worry about. The Stone Drake, or the Shadow Drake, not revealed, but of course does get damaged, and that's probably going to die off thanks to the Eternal Judgment. We know that Classic has set that on his castle. Yep, there it is. Trap card revealing the Judgment, going to pop over the Shadow Drake, which is unfortunate. We'll see if Mal has anything to kind of counteract this. He has the Yenaroth. All right, Yenaroth into a Lumberjack as well here. So kind of creating a little bit of the push here, although unfortunately can't Arbiter's block here, which might come back to bite him. We do see another Detonate in hand. Kind of makes me a little bit nervous. We do see the Craxus come out now, at least a combination from Imp and Craxus, taking out the Yenaroth here and getting some draw off of the kill of Yenaroth here. And yeah, there's another Arbiter's, which... I think at that point might be the game, right? We swing back to 5 HP on on Classic's turn. Classic just charges in an Arbiter, and that is game. Damn. Well, Dragons weren't able to get the job done. A little unfortunate there. So I believe Red Yellow is 1-1 on the day. Yeah, because we won the last one with the DragonStorm's Druid Viking deck. So currently, the Red Yellows are at a 1-1 here in this episode. Dragons maybe not the sauce for this month, but still a great matchup here, doing a lot to kind of showcase the tips and tricks here. A really couple interesting choices. The Judgment on Classic side, the Pulverize on Mel's. Very curious as to why they could be taking those cards in now, specifically. Maybe Pulverize to deal with things like the Temple of the Armories. Maybe Judgment just to be annoying. Who knows? Who knows indeed. But anyways, we have one more match to get to, folks, before this video ends. So let's go ahead and check it out here. Game number 3 coming at you right now. All right. And our last game is USBC taking on Fables. Now, of course, USBC rocking the trademark of this episode here with the yellow-red. But Fables stepping in with Druid Pirate. Now, we saw Druid Viking successfully take down the red-yellow last time. Will Druids be the key to defeating this combination? Let's go ahead and find out here as we jump right into the matchup. Jump right in there. And looking on Fable's side here, all right, I mean, right now can't have a clear definition on what he's playing. Maddie, Minotaur, 2 Minotaurs, some global, some pretty standard good stuff out of these colors, out of this combination per se. USBC opening with the Lumberjack and Dwarven Miner. Okay, interesting little duo there. We know Lumberjack is everywhere, but the Miner We saw him appear in 2 red-yellow decks. Has he been making moves that, you know, maybe I'm a little slow to catch up on? Who knows? Karasume, though, from the Maddie is a great pull, especially because now we can, of course, use the Karasume, connect with the Dwarven Miner, and bounce the Maddie successfully back into our hand to generate a free range unit here. And we see that there's a little bit of a mess up there in the replay. But the Maddie was replayed, so think of that, what's the other card in there? I think it was something like a Beastmaster, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember what was played, but keep in mind that Maddie is not necessarily a Maddie here. Blue Fireball, though, doing a great job at removing the armory here. A great way that we can start evening out the global game here is pop those globals early. We do know that Fables, though, has 2 additional globals in hand, being Blacksmith and Armory. We'll see if any of those are brought out in this next turn to utilize maybe both. Who knows? We'll see another Mountain 9 Maddie here. This one, the new one that's in the hand here. And that is a large pull. A RedMaster coming out of the deck is fantastic. But right here is a big mistake by Fables that I want to kind of point out here. This is unfortunately a big board wipe that could have been avoided by playing the Armory, giving every unit on the board that additional +1 to survive. Things like the Tarius, Smitty, Blacksmith. He's called Smithy in CNC too, so whoopsies. But Pyromancer, Beastmaster, all of these cards could have been saved with that additional armory health, so that way we're not losing them. And we did have the gold to play it. The Blacksmith minus the 1 gold in our hand is technically enough. Unless maybe the armory, was the armory the one that was misplayed? I don't remember. That might be the case, but I think he might still have another armory in hand. I don't know. Anyways, regardless, big misplay if the armory was not the card to be played there. Definitely a large loss indeed. Because, of course, we could have saved all of those, most of those units. I mean, Karasume still lives. But still, you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, continuing on the matchup here, Cannoneer will take a stance. USBC taking the time to push back for a moment, getting the armory and the church set up. Cannoneer being bold. Charging right in, using the Karasume Tarius files to regenerate here. And of course, it's about kind of being replayed here. Note that the costing, or the card being played again, for some reason, a little bugged on this specific replay here. I don't know what happened with it. But regardless, getting that Cannoneer back to its position here. Oh, and there is another one. Armory going down. So that was an armory. That was an armory in the hand here. So we know he had it. Okay, so that was, again, nothing we're going to harp on, I guess, for too much longer. But anyways, now the 2, 6, 7 Cannoneers on the board here. Pretty big. Pretty nice at... Gonna play a little bit of maybe defense here. I don't know. Depending on if maybe Fables can get an additional... Well, actually, he has... No. He does have the scope still, right? Maybe... Was that the card I'm thinking of? No, we'll find out. It was scope. So, yeah, he could always just simply do this. Use the 2 Cannoneers to pop the cracks here, get it off of the board here. Mana Core is a nice way to protect those Cannoneers as well, because, of course, we know the Dino Rider can reach both or one of those Cannoneers. Dragon's Fire. Ooh, Flamestorm Dragon's Fire. Blah, blah, blah. I can't speak English today. Nice little combination there to take out pretty much most, again, of Fables cards, which is annoying. Minotaur going to make a clean trade here with the Dinosaur Rider. Cannoneer shooting again into face for 12 damage this time. That Church, though, is putting in work here. Arbiter is now putting in even more. Going to pop that scoped Cannoneer here, clear the board for USBC. And let's talk about how we... quickly, how USBC has not been running the standard burn deck, mind you. Seeing cards like the Dwarven Paladin, the Dwarven Archive, the Dwarven Miner being played here now with the Dinos as well. This could be a tried and true Dwarves and Dinosaurs deck. Haven't seen one of these in a long time. Be curious to see if it can get the win here. Looks like it's doing well so far. But of course, this is an older deck that really hasn't seen the light of day as much here. Mainly because it is, for one thing, pretty expensive to collect all the pieces there. But also just because, you know, things are faster. Decks are faster than what the Dwarves can do. The Dwarves and Dinosaurs, mind you. And, you know, sometimes they kind of fell out of favor at some point. And here they are, back again. Maybe to make some moves here. I don't know. We'll see if they can pick up the win, though. like I said, a lot more game left to play. Minotaur gonna hit the board now. Big old angry boy here to block the incoming cards. Magma Sword, Dinosaur Nest, and there is the tried and true dinosaur staple. The nest itself gonna hit the board here. Church doing a nice work at, you know, healing up all of those buildings and the castle HP again. And this is an uphill battle for Fables. He's got some tricks up his sleeve here. We do see the dual Mordocks, but it's looking dicey. It is looking dicey here, especially now that we have all those babies. Mind you, in the back, we didn't kind of push those up here. So who knows what's going to be the plan with them. Magmas are going to go ahead and pop that Minotaur here. The Dinosaur Evolution. Oh, no. Oh. How long has it been since you've seen an evolution get played here, folks? Holy mackerel. Well, I mean, Fables is doing a good job here. The Dread Pirate into the Mordock, into the Swordsman Cleave, doing its work at clearing off 2 of the incoming 4 T-Rexes here. Cloak of Ice, a nice pickup as well. Not against the Dinos, unfortunately, because we know the Fear Aura can push them back and away. But still, an absolutely incredible Dino Evolution play from USBC here. And of course, now pushing in some of the other cards here. Another Miner, Mordock. Again, with that Fear Aura, it acts as a catapult here, launching the units into face with them directly being on top of Fable. Now Fable has to respond. Another Mordock going to come out here. The Blessing of the Trends. We do know that he's got Dwarven Scope in his hand as well. Yep, going to be a nice way for him to pop that Mordock pretty easily without giving it any sort of value here. Horseman on the Church. Would have been nicer to honestly see that hit the Armory, because we know that's been causing a lot of issues, but we'll see. We'll see. Burning Sun. Yet again. That's, I think, twice in this video here. Hitting the board. Going to neutralize the Blessing buff off of the Mordock here, so T-Rex can remain alive. Oh boy, oh boy. And of course the 10-12 moving in, as well as a quest for the Holy Grail, which I was gonna say, very on theme, but very weird of a choice. Quest gives you the Dwarven Paladin, and I think that's really the only dwarf synergy it has. The questing knights are, you know, fine, but it really goes to show that quest is more of a knight support card, because they kind of are those knights create a platform for Luminaris, and in this match I'm pretty sure that USBC is not rocking Lumi. Could be wrong, but very unlikely. Fables now has to respond to another T-Rex here. He will pop with Robins yet again, getting us some extra gold in the process. Cloak of, nope, Beastmaster. Of course, again, wrong card showing up, but, you know, it is what it is. Ooh, Drake Dance as well. Could be funny, but I feel like it's going to be unlikely that we'll see that really take effect here or pop off. In the meantime, the Wolves are being used as a way to body block. I mean, if we can burn off the Beastmaster, we can pretty much have a clear win. Looks like we don't. T-Rex is going to go and chomp the Wolf in front of Castle here, leaving the other one to get powered up. Moving another T-Rex in to excel these Knights forward, though. Going to be really problematic without a Swordsman. We don't have a Swordsman here, and this is going to get pretty bad. Beastmaster going to go ahead and make some trades here. I mean, he's gotta. We have a lot of gold to work with, so maybe we can pull out something, but I don't know. It feels unlikely. Blacksmith are going to pop in. Okay, well, you can do something here. Cloak of Ice, I imagine, because that's what that is here. The Headwood being utilized as well, or at least is setting up for some big damage. But honestly, Fable's going to need a lot of companion shenanigans here, unless, okay, going off an Arbiters, that's a good thing. Blue Firebolt popping the Blacksmith with the Frost Aura. Again, losing an extra global is not good for Fables in the situation. He needs all the attack he can get. And with this hand, I mean, unless he gets some, I mean, he got one Headwood blast off. But I think even with the third Blacksmith in hand here, yeah, he's going to see the writing on the wall and surrender. USBC taking the win with a bit of a classic throwback to the Dwarves and Dinosaur days, utilizing the good old combination in the Crusader Warlock, which is very cool to see. You know, as much as I harped on this being a, you know, oh, what's good against the red-yellow meta, honestly, this was not on the projection list of what we could run into for red-yellow decks, at least in the year of our Lord 2022. It's really cool to see USBC doing some fun things with that, but yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it off. So congrats to USBC again for getting that victory. Well played to Fables, but let's go ahead and, of course, end off this video. All right, and with that being said, I think we can conclude this edition of TV commentary. Folks, if you guys enjoyed today's episode and today's games, let me know by leaving your thoughts in the comments section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Be sure to share with your friends, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel or haven't done so already. It is the best way you can show your support here and help us grow on the platform while by clicking the subscribe button at no additional cost to you. But with that being said, folks, that's going to be it for me for now. So, until next time. Stay gaming.